Yo, 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 everyone. There we go. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, my non binary friends, back to the Wolf Lair. And just welcome back in general. Last night's stream was insane. I think it was like an 8-hour stream or something like that. I had an amazing time. Hopefully, those that made it had a good time too, and those that are going to be watching it over however long it's going to take people to watch that, I hope that you guys enjoy that. If you guys, of course, have not seen that video or the live stream and seen the surprise, I highly suggest to skip this video because that is exactly what I'm going to be talking to you guys about today in this video. The reason why that surprise came to be and how it all came to be, because, well, I had to get special permission to do it. So, again, fair warning, this is a spoiler video. My deaf dog is causing issues. Hey, Bubba. But, yeah, just skip this video. You're not going to miss anything. It's only going over what that surprise was. So, again, if you haven't seen it, skip this video. Alright, now that they're gone, hopefully, if you're here still, you got warned. So, of course, for you guys that have seen it, hopefully you guys that have seen it are here. If you haven't, well, then spoilers. You guys will know that Bella is back. Of course, Bella being my main character that I normally always run in the BCSO. I was only using Sean just simply because it was the uniform that was given. It was for male, and so I just kind of went with the male EP and all that. Ran Sean for forever. It feels like it's only been a few months. But a lot of you guys might know that I actually mainly play female characters in basically every game that I can make custom characters on, including Cyberpunk 2077 and other games like that. So, when I was in PGN the first time around, when I first joined PGN, of course, had to create Sean, brought him back, and even though I was having fun, I didn't feel very comfortable. Hate to say it, but I didn't feel comfortable. I wasn't comfortable playing Sean just simply because a lot of you guys that have been around the channel for a long time, you will all know that Sean is actually not around anymore. He actually ended up taking his own life back in Torp, or the Ohana roleplay community. And from then, I was actually going to just completely retire that character. Well, due to circumstances between rules and guidelines and all that, I've had to actually keep that character model around. And I just kind of reset his whole backstory, kept some similarities. You guys, I'm watching a little bit of not TikTok, but YouTube in the background, so if you guys see that. I'm actually watching an RC video, which was kind of a cool thing, but I've wanted to make a video myself, so just kind of explaining because I have a little bit of explaining to do. But yeah, I just kind of didn't enjoy playing Sean just simply because it just felt weird to have him back as a law enforcement officer, because he ended up taking his life while on the job, actually, which really sucked. And it was just simply, if you missed it, he had a mental episode that he did not recover from, and he was out in the county by the big rocks out in front of the sheriff's station, and he took his life while watching over his brothers and sisters from on top of the highest point that he knew. So that really sucked. And of course, that reason is just simply because Sean has a really dark story connected to him. If you guys, again, if you have not seen the Torp videos, I highly suggest going to Torp and watching those uh, videos around the father that I never had, or whatever title that was. I'll try to get a link to the start of that story. I can't promise that it's going to be there on there because it's going to take me a while, but uh, more or less it was all of Torp. It was just that storyline. So I would really suggest go there if you want to know the backstory of Bella and of course Sean. For you guys that do not want to watch the full thing, I will kind of break it down really, really short. So, Bella, of course, is a pirate. A lot of people don't actually know that, but she has a sister called Faye, or Softheart, that was at sea. Because, like I said, she is a pirate. Well, that family is a pirate, or pirates. And yes, I am talking about seaborne pirates looking for treasure. Those type of pirates. And that's also one reason why Bella has feathers. That is the family tattoo. That is handed down from generation to generation, blah, blah, blah. So, basically where the whole storyline of Bella starts is that when she was young, she went out to go grab food to resupply the ship, and Sean, who was then like 20 something, he was in the army and was on a mission in the area, saw the what he thought was a lost child and took her. So basically kidnapped a child. That child being Bella. So he ended up taking her back to camp, and then after a year at camp, or at their base, they ended up going back to the States, back to San Andreas, and then that's kind of where everything started. Of course, I didn't necessarily play Bella at the very beginning. She was just kind of a background character that was actually in school to become a nurse. So everything just kind of started playing the role. Sean kind of started to go mad, and that's when I started playing Bella. Of course, Bella ended up taking over for Sean in the BCSO after a while, just simply because I got tired of playing Sean, and I wanted to allow the BCSO at that time had no female officers, so I jumped as Bella to become a female officer. So if we had female subjects, we had someone that could pat the subjects down. So it was more or less a need, not necessarily a want, but it ended up turning into something I never expected to happen. And just the ongoing love and support for Bella as the character that she is, and the development of that character's story became overwhelming, in all honesty. So I ended up just kind of using her as my primary character, and I have yet to regret that decision. Because, like I said, the support on that character is just overwhelming. So, she ended up becoming my deputy. She ended up climbing the ranks, and as I climbed the ranks and started having more and more fun with Bella, that is when I decided to take that chapter of Sean's life and end it. And of course, it being by his own hand. Which of course played into the storyline that helped, of course, kind of expose Sean for being the kind of a sadistic bitch that he was, kidnapping a child, and then of course coming home and trying to raise Bella, but in the background, Sean was very abusive, verbally and physically, to Bella. And so that is kind of one reason why Bella is the way that she is, very nurturing, very caring, and why she usually tries to be really stand outish with the really bright blue hair. It is to grab attention, which is kind of weird for people that go through that kind of childhood, Usually they are really, really shy, but uh, Bella wanted to combat that to try to help others that, of course, had the type of history that she has. So she has been one to really be nurturing, take people in if needed, and just really calm in that kind of situation. Because, of course, she knows how it is. And she uses that experience really, really well in RP, or at least I think so, at least. Um, so, yeah, that's kind of the really rough, really fast backstory. So, yeah, that's kind of the backstory. I highly suggest go back and watch the Ohana roleplay and all of those videos that had Bella in it, because I put a lot of time into that backstory, and I would like for you guys all to understand just how much work I put into it. But that is on your accord if you want to do that or not. It doesn't really matter. So a lot of you guys might be going, okay, well, what the fuck? How did this become a thing? What did you have to do? Well, in all honesty, PGN is a really awesome community. We've had a lot of people, of course, that I've now figured out that actually play female characters. And I actually ran into one last night on my 8-hour live stream that was a female cop played by a guy. And I'd never really paid attention to my officers around me until last night. And I found out that a lot of people actually do play female characters as a guy. So it was really cool. I ended up talking to, I believe it was my captain. Before that, or actually it was Tuesday night, I got in contact with one of my higher up COC members and kind of went down the line of why I feel more comfortable playing Bella, and just the fact that I have more experience playing Bella than my male cop. So after I just started kind of giving the background of myself to kind of explain why I used Bella, he ended up jumping down to an office where my undersheriff is. He brings the undersheriff up and he's like, hey, give the story to the undersheriff. He'll give you the yes or no if you can bring your female head into the game. And I really quickly went through the backstory once again. And my undersheriff, Oliver, he just was like, alright, cool. Yeah, that works for me. As long as it makes you happy, then do it. And so we swapped everything over to Bella W, just like it should be, instead of Sean. So that is basically kind of the rundown of that and how it happened. And a lot of you guys might be going, okay, well, is she just going to be a deputy? Are you going to go into any subdivisions and all that? And yes, I am going to. I am going to try to dip my toes into everything once I can, from K9 to investigation, all of that. So it's just going to take time, which sadly really sucks, because I have to be in game for like a month before I can even do that, or I have to be a deputy, which right now I'm a probationary deputy, so that is just kind of how it is. But no, I hope that here soon I will be promoted to deputy so I can start getting into the subdivisions and all of that. And of course I'm going to be trying to live stream daily, which is going to be really overwhelming. But and especially for my parts, because of course my parts are already kind of giving me crap, as you guys all know. But as of right now, knock on wood, they are acting alright. So we're gonna push my computer until it gives out, and if I get donations and whatnot, you guys all know that goes right back to the channel. And all donations right now are being held for new PC parts, or even just a brand new computer, just in general. So that is really cool. And again, I do appreciate all of the donations and memberships and all that. Of course, none of it is necessary. It's not something you have to do. it is just something that if you have the extra money and want to support the channel, that is the easiest way to do that. Of course, I also have PayPal and all that. You can go and donate through as well. So, yeah, that is the way and the best way to support the channel. But yeah, that's basically that whole deal of how that became to be with me bringing Bella back. I honestly at first was just kind of fucking around and noticed that we had parts of the uniform, and then I was with Alan C, one of the moderators here for the YouTube channel, and of course my Discord channel, and just a really good friend of mine. We were on Discord as I was fucking around with Bella, just trying to see what civilian type clothing they had in for females, and like I said, just kind of started finding pieces and parts for uniforms. Noticed that they had a lot of the same duty belts as the guys do for females, and the vests they had in server. So I really quickly put together a uniform, and I was just like, well, shit, I wonder if I could bring Bella here to the Discord or the actual server. And like I said, reached out to COC and they went with it, which was really fucking cool. But for you guys that know Bella as her bright blue hair, she will come back to her blue hair, but right now, as a cop, I have to have normal hair color, so like red, because as you guys can tell, I'm redheaded myself, but she's like a red, so kind of a dyed color, but it's not enough that it really makes her really stand out. What are you doing? Goober had a leash around him. He's freaking out about it. Now he's good. Okay, cool. But yeah, and I'm gonna really quickly tack this onto this video. This is actually drawn out a little bit more than I thought, but a lot of you guys are questioning if I'm going to go back to Civ or if I'm going to pick up a secondary department. Right now, as of today, if you are seeing this down the line by a few months, then I probably am in a department or a secondary as a reserve. But as of right now, the time that I'm recording this, I am not looking into joining another department. I'm just kind of having civilian-esque models for my characters, so when I go off duty, I can switch into civilian clothing and go home. Well, go home. Really, I just F8 and quit. But I'm not going to say that I'm not going to be looking into joining a secondary department. As of right now, I'm actually thinking about going back to fire, so I can bring Sean back just as a firefighter, or possibly if I go back to fire, I might bring the original gay firefighter, Mr. Rigby Benson, back, which would be pretty cool to do, because I love playing Rigby Benson because he was very much modeled after myself, a gay motherfucker that always likes to have fun and makes a fucking fool of himself. So I might bring Rigby Benson back if I go fire, and if I don't bring Rigby Benson back, it will more or less be it'll be Sean that is my firefighter, because I know I use Sean after, of course, Rigby, because he was the one that replaced Rigby Benson. So, and that's also where Sean and Moss, why that brotherhood became to be, because they worked close in the fire department. So, just kind of where that's gonna go. And like I said, if I bring civilian back, I'm gonna use Bella's bright blue hair in that character model, because everyone loves Bella and her bright blue hair. So, with that being said, you guys, I'm gonna wrap this up here. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all whenever I see you. Take care, guys.